Here's the situation. Darwin has a class called a troll list, and they have anybody who asks him one of these 18 questions that's on the internet, he will not answer. Or anybody who asks a question from like Jack, the guy that just came in here, his name's Jack. He has very good questions he wants to ask Darwin's. Darwin's will not answer them. And anybody who asks these questions, he will put on a troll list and ignore them. And I want Darwin to put me on his troll list.
That is false. You have misrepresented my position.
Darwin, have you ever answered any of the
so Ozzy, your big hang up here is that
you're not answering Jack's question. That's
I don't answer Jack. Jack is a well-known star.
I'm asking the same question.
Okay, good. Well, I don't answer questions that he originates with because he's a well-known stalker of mine.
Well, wait.
Now,
you're not going to answer the question that I have.
Ozzy, I guess you're not aware of the previous history. Jack,
I don't care about your history with this fellow.
Okay, can you please explain how miracles are compatible with induction? I'll wait.
Okay, so could you repeat your question, Vito?
No, I want what he just said because that's what I wanted to say.
I don't talk
but as eloquently as what that guy just said.
I don't talk to him.
Okay, can you? What the fuck did he say?
He basically said that you can't have reliable.
You say what he said because that was perfect.
Yeah, you can't have reliable induction with
Why don't
miracles.
you talk to him? Hold on, wait a minute here. Evolution. Why don't you talk to that guy?
He's a stalker.
So why? I don't understand. Like,
if he comes in,
I ask the same question.
If he disrespects you while in the room, then he'll get kicked out faster than you can say "Holy shit!" He's asked you a question.
Well, I'm going to ignore his question because of past chronic abuse of
you're going to. Now, Dawkins, this is what the problem is. You're going to expect people to answer your questions and then tell this guy and the woman that you're going to ignore them just simply because you call them a troll?
No, I didn't say to call them a troll. They are stalkers.
But he asked you a very valid question.
That's right.
He's not sitting there calling you dickhead or names. He's not screaming at your ear. He actually asked a question.
Yeah, well, I've made it a policy that people that stalk me on the internet, I don't respond to them even when they enter a room like this.
I do think that, barring that William is a stalker according to you, there was a good question that was asked, which I think is relevant to the conversation that you and Simon are having. And since you won't answer it from William, I'll go ahead and ask it. It's essentially, the question that he's asking, it boils down to, what is your argument for assumptions being circular? Do you have one? Is that, or no?
If you're going to simply repeat or
it's a good question, though. Like, when it comes right down to it, regardless of whether or not it's coming from a stalker, if you're going to say the question
are you going to let me respond?
That is categorically an ad hominem.
He's been kicked out numerous times today, and he keeps coming in, and it keeps just stirring up unnecessary drama, and he's still unwilling to answer questions.
I wish Darwin would answer on this one, because I'd love to hear what his reasoning, how he got to that, because that's a pretty bold statement to make. So I'd love to hear how he got there. You know what I mean? Like, what's he using to get there?
You know, Ermine, your timing is perfect on this, because I just want to say something to Darwin from brother to brother. I respect you greatly, but when you come in these hangouts and you don't address people like Philip and Jack and Josh, all the Pal Talk guys, you look weak. And I'm not saying this to condemn you, okay? I know there's a history between you guys, but I think you should address the arguments that these guys have, because otherwise it doesn't look good. Go ahead.
What if he doesn't have responses? What is he supposed to do then?
Just say I don't have a response.
Exactly, Philip. Oh!
Okay, I guess the reason I'm starting to get a little aggravated with this is we just went down an entire path where Jack walked me through his perspective, and I'm seeing it more and more, but I can't see Darwin's, and he won't articulate it.
Exactly.
So for me, we just wasted half an hour.
Well, Hermine, you're here early in the morning a lot of the time before I wake up, so I'm sure you'll get the opportunity to ask Darwin's.
But he can't. If you ask him a question, he will not answer it coming from you or anyone else.
Okay, well, you seem to have this problem where you ask a question and somebody answers it really well, and then you try to focus on one part of it instead of understanding their answer. I understand. I answered what you said, and not only did I explain what I just said, I explained it in about 3 different ways. This is why you don't grow. This is why you've never learned anything on G+. This is why people don't ever get convinced by your arguments that don't just want to be convinced.
Well, you're changing the subject now to a personal attack, and I'd like to stick to the subject.
No,
so
no, I'm trying to correct you.
Do you believe?
I'm trying to
Okay,
correct
good.
you
Will
as
you
a
stop
person.
talking? It's my turn.
I'm trying to correct you as a person so that you can engage with people more productively. Because that's actually more important than this discussion.
I thought you were going to step in and moderate here. Are we gonna talk?
Are you afraid to answer that question, Darwin's?
I didn't hear what you said. I was talking.
Darwin doesn't like to answer questions. You notice that, MK? He took the railroad right over us.
Well, let's go back to the central point. You said.
Well, actually, no. I like to ask questions.
Art, you know what? Art, it's my turn to speak. Art. I would think you would respect that it is my turn to speak. Okay. Now, you said that you can demonstrate that certain things are the case because you can appeal to your properly basic beliefs. Are any of your beliefs the product of omniscience and an infallible reasoning?
So, Dawkins, are you willing to have your worldview challenged?
Okay, I want everyone to notice Art has not answered my question.
Don't interrupt me. So, are you kidding? I've been answering questions for like half an hour now that you asked me about.
This is the 4th time you have not answered my question.
Now I want to put some questions back to you. So, are you willing to step up?
If you don't answer my question, the next time I ask it, the conversation's over.
And defend your worldview. Okay.
No, I asked you a question.
You asked me a question.
You trailed off.
I'll give you one more chance.
I was talking to you, Dawkins. I asked you a question.
You asked me a question. I am attempting to answer you. You interrupt.
You're actually an amazing.
Okay,
you're an amazing fellow.
Okay, Ernie, I'm done. Okay.
You can be done, and while you're done, you can ask yourself why there are countless people within this community who have the same contention, atheists, theists, agnostics alike, who continue to say, "Why don't you answer questions, sir? Why are questions presented to you that you just will refuse to answer?" I didn't cut you off. I didn't interrupt you. We were having a discussion and I asked a question, and to avoid the question, in his own words, right? I hope the whole room sees that this atheist is dodging my question, right? He's dodging my line of reasoning. He does not want to come to terms with what I'm presenting to him. This is what I hear echoed time and time and time and time again. Nonsense. I asked you a simple question.
Darwin, say your statement again.
The necessary preconditions for rationality and intelligibility.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, what that means is in order for some things to exist, there are necessary preconditions or antecedents, right?
Like what? Like what?
Okay, do you understand that contingent...
I need to understand your question, so like what?
Do you understand that for things to exist, there are necessary preconditions?
Give me some examples real quick. Are you talking about like physical matter, like the planets forming, the sun being here, life, things like that? Or are you talking about something else?
You understand the nature of contingency?
Do you want to answer my question, or are we...
I am answering your question, but I'm trying to...
You don't answer a question with a question, dude. You just answer the question. Just answer the question.
Does rationality have any necessary preconditions?
That is a question. That is a question. Yeah. Answer the question. Answer the question.
What question?
The question I just fucking asked you. Good God, man. Is it this hard to follow?
So you haven't made an argument. You've been asking questions for like the last I've been in 45 minutes. You've been asking questions.
Did I make any academic claims to you?
How come every time I ask you a question, you always answer it with a fucking question? Answering my questions with a question is not answering my fucking question. Are you a scholar?
Okay, I have made no claims to being a scholar.
That's, again, you're not answering my question. It's a yes or it's a fucking no. Okay. Are you a scholar?
Okay.
Yes or no? Yes or no? It's just like your little precept shit where you want to get an A and B answer. You got A and B, motherfucker. Yes for A, B for no. Yes or no?
Asked and answered.
Are you a scholar?
Are you going to
asked and answered?
Okay. Now, It's my policy when I'm conversing with people that I don't give personal information.
Well,
about
it's my
my
policy
background
that
or-
people
okay,
can't ask
okay,
me
good.
questions if I can't ask them questions. That's my policy. My policy
Okay.
is we play both sides of the fucking court. I told you, this ain't football. You ain't the star quarterback. This is
And-
basketball. We playing both sides of the court. All right?
Yeah.
You got to play some fucking defense. You got to answer some of my motherfucking questions if you want me to answer yours.
I did
It don't
answer.
work like that. All
I
right?
did answer
No, you
you.
didn't answer my question. You didn't.
No,
Are you a
I'm
scholar?
just-
Yes or no?
I'm just curious.
Are you a scholar? Yes or no?
I make no claims.
Yes or no? God damn, man. What the hell is so hard about saying yes or no?
Actually, I'm talking to multiple
You
people.
don't get to be star quarterback anymore. We're playing both sides of the court now. Now it's your turn to play defense.
Can anybody tell me?
Now it's your turn to play defense.
Could anybody tell
You're the
me
most,
what
now
Gus's?
it's your. Hey, are you paying attention? You're not the star quarterback. It's you and me, sweet cakes. Come on.
Could anybody else?
Why
in the
won't you?
room
Why
tell
won't you
me-
stick to the tenets of your own faith?
I'll wait till you're done ranting.
I tell you what. You know what would be a great place for you to wait in a country called Smarten Up. That'd be a great place for you to wait. What a person you could be. What an addition to this community you could be. What a wealth of knowledge and capacities you have. What a skill with rhetoric and flourish you have. And what such things that you could share with this community. If only you weren't fucking hell-bent for leather on being some holy rolling, cheap-ass, skip-following fucking predator. And that's what you are here. You're an intellectual predator. You come looking for weak targets. People who you think you can push over easily. And the minute somebody steps to you with a real challenge and forces you to fucking play on an even field, you're gone. You fucking ghost like Swayze.
Okay.
Why don't you
keep going.
challenge yourself? Why don't you challenge yourself and answer any of the questions I've asked you in the last 60 seconds? Why don't you challenge yourself? What's the matter with you? Why do you have to be like that? What a place for exchange of ideas this place could be. If people like you would only stop trying to cut the weaklings out of their herd and smash them for your own pleasure. Why? Why aren't you going after the big fish? Why aren't you going after the Dillahunties? Why aren't you going after the Aaron Raws? Why aren't you going after the Stuart Smalleys? The Seth, whatever the guy's last name is? Why aren't you going after those guys? Why aren't you going after the big game? Or hey, if you don't even want to go after those guys, how come I never see you in a conversation with Ozymandias? How come I never see you in a philosophical hangout? You know, every time you end up in Xbox's hangout, it's always to just start shit. I never see you talking to the big fish around here. When was the last time you took any of those dudes on? You don't never take them on. No, you come into the free fire zones where you can push the mod around, and that's what you do. You push the mod around, and you piss, wail, and cry until you get what you want.
No, he got in a conversation with Ozzy once. Ozzy beat him down.
Well, geez, that's one time. That's one time. Let's multiply it by 10 to be generous. That's, by the way, something I do that you're not familiar with there, Darwin. Let's multiply it by 10 to be generous. That's still fucking a gazillion times less than you come around here looking for weak atheists to beat up on. Because be honest, between you and me and nobody else, everybody plug your ears. That's what you're looking for, aren't you? You're looking for the weak atheists, huh? You want the weak ones. You like to hear their bones crunch between your teeth. Oh, what do you got? Finger looking good. What's next? How come you never take on the really strong atheists? How come you never take on the ones who really know what they're talking about? How come you won't have a discussion about evolution with Fiona? When was the last time you had a discussion with evolution about evolution with Fiona? I don't know. Has it ever happened? I don't know. Maybe it has happened. Somebody will correct me, but I don't imagine that something has happened. I know you've talked to Steve McRae a bunch of times, and I know he's tried to put you straight, but you've got him on your troll list, so I don't know how often you're going to talk to him. Hey, though, if you really, really want to test the strength of your steel, why don't you go to those 15 questions that have been up on the internet since the dawn of fucking time, forget where they came from, and just try to answer them? If you really want to test your fucking mettle, why don't you go through those questions one by one and fucking put an answer up? Any answer. Any answer would be fine. But part of the reason that list is so effective is they fucking hold it up there and you don't answer. You don't answer them. You haven't had an answer since the point that list was generated. And since then, the time that I've seen you come on these internets here, on these hangouts, you've only ever answered one satisfactorily, and it came from me. And then I find out later that your answer was fuckered anyways. So why, if you're looking at really making your mark, why don't you start there? instead of coming into Hangouts and picking whoever you think is the weakest person. If I walked up and asked you a question, the very next thing out of your mouth would be, well, now let me ask you a question. And you'd spend the next hour and a half trying to figure out what the fuck. You'd spend the next hour and a half trying to make me look stupid. That's not how you teach people anything. Do you not understand that? You have nothing to say except to ask me if I'm done? Nothing at all?
Are you done ranting, Gus?